The basking shark is the second largest living fish, after the whale shark, and one of three plankton-eating sharks along with the whale shark and megamouth shark. Adults typically reach 6 to 8 meters in length. They are usually greyish-brown, with mottled skin. The caudal fin has a strong lateral keel and a crescent shape. The basking shark is a cosmopolitan migratory species, found in all the world's temperate oceans. A slow-moving filter feeder, its common name derives from its habit of feeding at the surface, appearing to be basking in the warmer water there. It has anatomical adaptations for filter feeding, such as a greatly enlarged mouth and highly developed gill rakers. Its snout is conical and the gill slits extend around the top and bottom of its head. The gill rakers, dark and bristle-like, are used to catch plankton as water filters through the mouth and over the gills. The teeth are very small and numerous, and often number 100 per row. The teeth have a single conical cusp, are curved backwards, and are the same on both the upper and lower jaws. This species has the smallest weight-for-weight brain size of any shark, reflecting its relatively passive lifestyle. Basking sharks are believed to overwinter in deep waters. They may be found in either small schools or alone. Small schools in the Bay of Fundy and the Hebrides have been seen swimming nose to tail in circles in what may be a form of mating behavior. Despite the large size and threatening appearance, basking sharks are not aggressive and are harmless to humans. It has long been a commercially important fish, as a source of food, shark fin, animal feed, and shark liver oil. Overexploitation has reduced its populations to the point where some have disappeared and others need protection. Taxonomy. The basking shark is the only member of the family Cetahinidae, part of the mackerel shark order Lamniformes. Gunnerus was the first to describe and name the species Ceterinus maximus from a specimen found in Norway. The genus name Ceterinus comes from the Greek ketos, which means marine monster, a whale, and rhinos, meaning nose. The species name Maximus is from Latin and means greatest. In the following centuries there were more attempts at naming. Squalus isidus, in 1819 by Macri, Squalus elephas, by Lesueur in 1822, Squalus rashleonis, by Couch in 1838, Squalus cetaceus, by Grono in 1854, Ceterinus blainvillei by Capello in 1869, Selacius pennantii, by Cornish in 1885, Ceterinus maximus infanuncula, by Dientz and Adriani in 1953, and finally Ceterinus maximus normani, by Sicardi in 1961. Other names include bone shark, elephant shark, pomother, sailfish, and sunfish. Range and habitat. The basking shark is a coastal pelagic shark found worldwide in boreal to warm temperate waters around the continental shelves, and entering into brackish waters on occasions. It prefers 8 to 14.5 degrees Celsius temperatures, but has been confirmed to cross the much warmer waters at the equator. It is often seen close to land, including bays with narrow openings. The shark follows plankton concentrations in the water column, so is often visible at the surface. It characteristically migrates with the seasons. The basking shark is found from the surface down to at least 910 meters. Anatomy and appearance. The largest accurately measured specimen was trapped in a herring net in the Bay of Fundy, Canada, in 1851. Its total length was 12.27 meters, and it weighed an estimated 19 t. Dubious reports from Norway mention 3 basking sharks over 12 meters, the largest at 13.7 meters, during 1884 to 1905. These are dubious because few anywhere near that size have been caught in the area since. On average, the adult basking shark reaches a length of 6 to 8 meters and weighs about 5.2 t. Some specimens still surpass 9 to 10 meters, but after years of large-scale fishing, specimens of this size have become rare. They possess the typical shark lamniform body plan and have been mistaken for great white sharks. The two species can be easily distinguished by the basking shark's cavernous jaw, up to 1 meter in width, longer and more obvious gill slits that nearly encircle the head and are accompanied by well-developed gill rakers, smaller eyes, and smaller average girth. Great whites possess large, dagger-like teeth. Basking shark teeth are much smaller, 5 to 6 millimeters, and hooked. Only the first 3 or 4 rows of the upper jaw and 6 or 7 rows of the lower jaw function. In behavior, the great white is an active predator of large animals and not a filter feeder. Other distinctive characteristics include a strongly keeled caudal peduncle, highly textured skin covered in placoid scales and a mucus layer, a pointed snout, distinctly hooked in younger specimens, and a lunate caudal fin. In large individuals, the dorsal fin may flop to one side when above the surface. Coloration is highly variable. Commonly, the coloring is dark brown to black or blue dorsally, fading to a dull white ventrally. The sharks are often noticeably scarred, possibly through encounters with lampreys or cookie-cutter sharks. The basking shark's liver, which may account for 25% of its body weight, runs the entire length of the abdominal cavity and is thought to play a role in buoyancy regulation and long-term energy storage. Life history. Basking sharks do not hibernate, and are active year-round. In winter, basking sharks move to depths of 900 meters to feed on deep-water plankton. Surfacing behaviors. They are slow-moving sharks, and do not evade approaching boats. They are not attracted to chum. Though the basking shark is large and slow, it can breach, jumping entirely out of the water. This behavior could be an attempt to dislodge parasites or commensals. Such interpretations are speculative, however, and difficult to verify. Breaching in large marine animals such as whales and sharks might equally well be intraspecific threat displays of size and strength. Migration satellite tagging confirmed basking sharks move thousands of kilometers during the winter, seeking plankton blooms. They shed and renew their gill rakers in an ongoing process, rather than over one short period. A 2009 study tagged 25 sharks off the coast of Cape Cod, Massachusetts, and indicated at least some migrate south in the winter, remaining at depths between 200 and 1,000 meters for many weeks. The tagged sharks crossed the equator to reach Brazil. One individual spent a month near the mouth of the Amazon River. They may undertake this journey to aid reproduction. On the 23rd of June 2015, a 6.1-meter long, 3,500 kilograms basking shark was caught accidentally by a fishing trawler in the Bass Strait near Portland, Victoria, in southeast Australia, the first basking shark caught in the region since the 1930s, and only the third reported in the region in 160 years. The whole shark was donated to the Victoria Museum for research, instead of the fins being sold for use in shark fin soup. Interactions. Basking sharks are social animals and form sex-segregated schools, usually in small numbers, but reportedly up to 100 individuals. Their social behavior is thought to follow visual cues. Although the basking shark's eyes are small, they are fully developed. They may visually inspect boats, possibly mistaking them for other basking sharks. Females are thought to seek shallow water to give birth. Predators. Basking sharks have few predators. White sharks have been reported to scavenge on the remains of these sharks. Killer whales have been observed feeding on basking sharks off California and New Zealand. Lampreys are often seen attached to them, although they are unlikely to be able to cut through the shark's thick skin. Diet. The basking shark is a passive feeder, filtering zooplankton, small fish, and invertebrates from up to 2,000 short tons of water per hour. They feed at a close close to the surface with their mouths wide open and gill rakers erect. Unlike the megamouth shark and whale shark, the basking shark does not appear to actively seek quarry, but it does possess large olfactory bulbs that may guide it. It relies only on the water it pushes through its gills by swimming. The megamouth shark and whale shark can suck or pump water through their gills. Reproduction: basking sharks are ovoviviparous. The developing embryos first rely on a yolk sac, with no placental connection. Their seemingly useless teeth may play a role before birth in helping them feed on the mother's unfertilized ova. In females, only the right ovary appears to function. Gestation is thought to span over a year, with a small, though unknown, number of young born fully developed at 1.5 to 2 meters. Only one pregnant female is known to have been caught. She was carrying 6 unborn young. Mating is thought to occur in early summer and birthing in late summer, following the female's movement into shallow waters. The age of maturity is thought to be between the ages of 6 and 13 and at a length of 4.6 to 6 meters. Breeding frequency is thought to be 2 to 4 years. The exact lifespan of the basking shark is unknown, but experts estimate to be about 50 years. Conservation. Aside from direct catches, bycatchers in trawl nets have been one of several threats to basking sharks. In New Zealand, basking sharks had been abundant historically. However, after the mass bycatches recorded in 1990s and 2000s, conformations of the species became very scarce. Management plans have been declared to promote effective conservations. The eastern North Pacific Ocean population is a U.S. National Marine Fisheries Service species of concern, one of those species about which the U.S. government's National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration has some concerns regarding status and threats, but for which insufficient information is available to indicate a need to list the species under the U.S. Endangered Species Act. The IUCN Red List indicates this as a vulnerable species. Importance to humans. Historically, the basking shark has been a staple of fisheries because of its slow swimming speed, placid nature, and previously abundant numbers. Commercially, it was put to many uses: the flesh for food and fish meal, the hide for leather, and its large liver for oil. It is currently fished mainly for its fins. Parts are also used in traditional Chinese medicine and as an aphrodisiac in Japan, further adding to demand. As a result of rapidly declining numbers, the basking shark has been protected in some territorial waters and trade in its products is restricted in many countries under CITES. It is fully protected in the UK, Malta, New Zealand, Florida and USA Gulf, and since 2008, it is subject to a target fishing and landed bycatch ban within EU waters. As of March 2010, it was also listed under Annex I of the CMS Migratory Sharks Memorandum of Understanding. Once considered a nuisance along the Canadian Pacific coast, basking sharks were the target of a government eradication program from 1945 to 1970. As of 2008, efforts were underway to determine whether any sharks still lived in the area and monitor their potential recovery. It is tolerant of boats and divers approaching it, and may even circle divers, making it an important draw for dive tourism in areas where it is common. In 2015, a 6.3-meter basking shark was caught by a trawler in seas near Portland, in southeastern Australia. Basking sharks and cryptozoology. On several occasions, lobster corpses initially thought to be sea serpents or plesiosaurs have later been identified as likely to be the decomposing carcasses of basking sharks, as in the Stronsay beast and the Zaoyo Maru cases.